here on Big South Network. First, the format of the calls remains the same. Each coach will speak for about 10 minutes. They'll make an opening statement. And while they're speaking, you can go ahead and enter the question queue by pressing *1 on your phone at any time to ask a question. At the end of the statements by the coach, we will move it to the Q&A session. At that time, anyone in the queue will go ahead and begin with their questions. I'll be able to track that and call upon you as your turn has been made. You can continue to press *1 to ask questions for that particular coach. If I'm not able to identify you, all we ask is that you do so before you ask your question of the coaches. Once no more questions have been made, we'll excuse the coaches and move on to the next speaker. Also a reminder, this call is being audio streamed live on the Big South Network, as well as being recorded and available for playback later this afternoon on BigSouthSports.com. And since this call is being recorded, we do ask that you please keep the background noise to a minimum and consider muting your line while you're listening in. If you have a question, you will be able to unmute your lines, and I do have that capability as well. So with that, we'll go ahead and begin with our first segment, and the first of two new head coaches in the league, Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Mark. How are you guys?
We're doing fine, thanks. Hope you're doing well.
Yes, sir.
All right, Running Bulldogs home Saturday, the only home game on the Big South schedule for the opening week, hosting Furman. If you can open up and talk about, kind of summarize how preseason camp went, how the last couple days leading into game week have been, and then talk about Furman. We'll take any questions.
Well, I appreciate that. Camp has been good. We kind of came out stumbling a little bit, having to get reacquainted after spring practice, to tell you the truth, and fought a little bit of consistency there early in camp. But I've been pleased that our football team has taken positive strides in the last week to 10 days. We fought a little bit, putting good practices back to back with some consistency, and I think we've improved in that area. So looking for a great improvement in these last couple of days headed into the Furman game on Saturday, and hoping it'll pay off. But stayed fairly healthy. We've had kids in and out. As far as injuries, I think we'll have most of those young men back for the ball game and be pretty healthy headed into the Furman contest. We, as a staff, we're concerned about numbers and depth. You would think you'd be a little thicker this time of year, but within our transition, we're thin at some positions that we're going to count on some young men to step forward and come along and really gain some game experience here the first 3 or 4 ball games so that we can be a better football team as we go through the year. But just to break it down offensively and defensively, our quarterbacks had a good camp. Lucas Beatty, he stayed healthy and done well. Our running back position, Jawan Blunt came back in good shape, and J.J. Hubbard, a little fastback that does our kick returning, has had a good camp. Up front, offensively, we're trying to replace 3 seniors, so we lack experience up front, and that's been a constant battle for us. But those young men have gotten better and starting to play a little bit better as of last couple of days in practice. And then probably we've had pretty consistent work out of our tight ends and our receivers. So, a little up and down. We're still going through some growing pains offensively and trying to make sure we put a good game plan together for this week. Defensively, we've been a little bit ahead of our offense throughout spring and summer camp. Got a few kids over there that played a little more football and have flown around the football pretty good. We're fairly healthy. We do have some young men that have played this past year on the defensive line that won't be able to participate on Saturday, and we're going to have some real young guys with not much experience back up and play in the game up front. But other than that, pretty healthy on defense. Preston Pimasa is a guy that I know the Big South knows about. He's had a good camp and stayed healthy, and Tanner Bergs, the guys that we took down to Big South meetings and those kind of guys. So a little more experience on defense, and hopefully take the rest of them into the game Saturday pretty healthy. Kicking-wise, well, we had a lot of unknowns. We got a new snapper and a new holder and a new kicker. It looks like we're probably going to spread the chores out kicking-wise between three guys. Jordan Day, Matt Frazier, who's a true freshman, and then Dustin Holder, who will do our punting. So a few unknowns there. We're going to have to get some really good play out of those guys with not much experience in the kicking game. And we lost some really talented guys there as far as the kicking chores last year. But they've come on. They had good practice yesterday with them, and hoping the kicking game will continue to improve as we put this thing together over in Bowling Springs.
All right, thank you, Coach. At this time, we'll take questions for Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray. To ask a question, please press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser and click Raise Hand if you joined us via the web. Questions for Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray. And, Coach, first question for you is from Matthew Clark of the Daily Courier. Go ahead, Matthew.
Coach McCray, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I'm sorry I haven't been able to come over and meet you. 15 miles away seems to take forever to get from Rutherford County to Cleveland County, but appreciate taking time to talk this morning.
Yes, sir. Glad to do it.
Coach, your first season, you're back with your alma mater. Talk about some of the changes and some of the different strategies that you've been working on over the specifically last couple weeks as guys came back and reported leading up to this weekend.
Well, I thought we gained a lot of ground in the spring and in our summer work. But it's been a continual process. I think it's going to continue. Everything we do is new, from warm-ups all the way to playing a home game to getting ready to play some road games. But I do think the young men have been attentive. They've been very positive in the changes we've made. We're just trying to be a little more attention to detail. We're trying to make sure we maximize our effort, and we're trying to make sure that our focus is on team. We've had some really fine individuals come out and have good performances and represent the Big South very, very well, whether it's conference game and non-conference game. And we've taken more of a team approach where everybody thinks about other people more than themselves, and we want to continue to grow that culture while we're here back at Gardner-Webb.
What challenges are you facing thus far?
Well, I think our depth's a real issue. I'm concerned. We drop off in some areas quite a bit from the guys that are going to start the game to the next guy in right now. So we have to develop depth. We've got to continue to work with our guys mentally and physically to get them ready to play in the football game to try to win the game. And we got to build some numbers up in spots. We're a little more mature and a little more thick in some areas than others. But that's probably the biggest concern. Even game one, you hope you're not having to worry about that. But a little concerned about our depth as a long season is just ahead for us with 12 games and an open date. And we're going to play some young guys. And you never know how young guys are going to act or react. All of our freshmen are game. All of our signees, if they're ready to go, we're going to play them and get as much game experience as we can early in the season. So that's probably the thing that's got me staying awake at night most.
Coach, just kind of follow up. You're a new coach of the Big South. I mean, not a stranger to the Big South by any stretch, but the Big South, very competitive league, and your schedule isn't very easy with road trips at Coastal, at VMI, at Presbyterian. What are your early expectations for league play for Gardner-Webb?
Well, I think the best thing about our league is that you almost play half a season. You can really, the football team you have this week, hopefully is a much more veteran seasoned football team as you head into league play. And certainly we understand that there's a great challenge and a great opportunity. The challenge is exactly what you said. The competition in the Big South, I think, is continuing to get better each and every season, with two teams in the playoffs last year and proved to be very, very competitive. That's what we want in our league. And, those road trips, anytime you play on the road, it becomes a more difficult task. So high respect for our league, high respect for the coaches that we've been able to meet in the league, and certainly I've seen a lot of outstanding players on video from last year that we'll be challenged with as we have league play.
Coach, thanks, and I promise I will make it to Boiling Springs at some point.
You're always welcome. We'd love to have you anytime.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Matt. And, Coach, next question for you comes in from media member from Waupee, South Carolina. I don't have a name, so please introduce yourself before your question, Coach.
It's Lane Harris from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina with Coastal Carolina Radio. I don't know how you got Waupee on that, Mark.
That's what it says. Go ahead, Lane. How you doing?
All right. Hey, Coach McCray, Lane Harris, just interested as a first-time coach in the league, what has been the most difficult thing you've had to deal with getting your team prepared this year?
Well, I think we're starting to, it takes a little while to get to know the young men you're going to go to war with, and certainly probably the biggest thing as a coach for me is to continue to work to build that trust between our staff and the players. I do think that we've taken gigantic steps, but each and every day is a step for us. Since we're new, we've not gone to war yet. We will this Saturday at 6 o'clock, and as all heck break loose around you, you have that deal. You don't really know how everybody's going to act or react. So that's probably the biggest thing. On a daily basis, we're doing things to try to work to build trust in each other, and I think the young men are really responding, and I think we're heading in the right direction. But that's been our biggest challenge, as it usually is with a new staff.
Well, welcome to the Big South, and best of luck to you guys this season.
Thank you, Wayne. Best of luck to you all this week.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Lane. And we still have time for 1 or 2 more questions for Coach McCray. Again, to ask a question, please press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser and click Raise Hand. Questions for Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray. Well, Coach, I'm not seeing anything else come in for you, so we'll go ahead and let you go. But thanks for joining us, and good luck Saturday against Furman.
Thank you, Mark. I'd like to wish all the coaches in the league good luck this week, and we're looking forward to representing the Big South as we go against the SoCon foe in Furman. So best of luck to everybody. Thanks.
All right. Thanks again, Coach. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.